I mean, hey, let's face it. Swalwell over on the Intelligence Committee, we're just scratching the surface. We're scratching the surface with, who else? And frankly, it's like, my great lawyer, Sidney Powell says, doesn't matter where the truth takes us. You're Judicial Watch. Judicial Watch, you don't care. You don't care who you go after, as long as it's the truth.
That's right. We get documents, and we know the impact may not be favorable to people that we like.
Right. I mean, you've told me that. You told me that to my face. You said if it was you, Flynn, we would go after you. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a massive compromise of our national security system at the highest levels of our country. And it likely started, in fact, it didn't likely, it started under the previous administration. And maybe there was advantage taken, by adversaries to get inside of our system in a way that is very dangerous to who we are as a republic. And I say maybe. I mean, I just know how they operate, Tom. I know how they operate.
Well, one of the things that occurred to me is, I should say, you may not know this, is that the State Department under Kerry, one of the key guy under Kerry who helped write the dossier or aspects of the dossier. People think it was just one dossier. No, they had many authors, including State Department officials under the Obama administration. Mm-hmm. He called the Russian embassy. Catch this: a month before the election, to talk to who? The political officer. And the document was given to us because it related to the dossier and to Russiagate. So he is talking to someone in the Russian embassy, obviously their spy, their chief spy,
sure,
about Russia and Trump. And it's this State Department that withheld the information. And that's my segue into what Sidney was able to do for you. Because people think, the Justice Department fessed up. They did that. None of what has come out, either by the Barr Justice Department or the FBI, would have come out but for the insistence of your lawyer. None of this was voluntary.
Right.
And it was only because she was riding herd on him that any of this happened. So I don't give credit to the Justice Department. I don't give credit to Attorney General Barr or former Attorney General Barr for doing any of this. They should have known from the get-go there was something up with this. And yet they ignored it until they couldn't because of your lawyer.
Before I address what you're talking about, which is we should not give any credit to the Justice Department for what the outcome of what happened to me. But think about this for a moment, that had I not departed the White House in the way that I departed, had I stayed on as the National Security Advisor, the Mueller investigation would never have happened. Okay? So for your audience, and I don't know if I've said this to anybody else, I may have, but the Mueller investigation would never have occurred had I not departed the White House. Why? Because there were issues and responsibilities that only the National Security Advisor has to the President of the United States. And we would have never gotten to the place where we needed a special counsel to look into Russiagate, because we would have disproven. In fact, it would have been hugely challenging for anybody to come in, for the Department of Justice to come in and say, we need to have a special counsel for Russiagate, because frankly, you're looking at the person, and Sidney actually discovered this through exculpatory evidence. You're looking at the insurance policy. It wasn't all these other characters, and God love them for all of them for having been abused by our government. But so we're talking about something that is historical in nature, that happened to our country, that would likely have not happened. So
you were in a position as National Security Advisor, you would have been analyzing the intelligence from across the agencies. You, for instance, would have seen immediately that the CIA had referred to the FBI an inquiry into Hillary Clinton lying about Russia in order to distract from her emails, which we all knew to be the case, but they also knew that the Russians knew it to be the case.
Well, and to include the Steele dossier, right? The piece of toilet paper that thing was written on. and others. I mean, so all of these things that we have now learned were easily exposable early on in the administration. The president, and I don't, like somebody says, well, why, I mean, I could be mean-spirited to him and vindictive to him for saying, hey, I need your resignation when he did. I don't feel that way at all. I don't feel that way at all because he did not know what was happening. He really did not know what was happening. And the blame, if there's blame, and again, I'm not a vindictive person, but there is a place to say this is where it began, and it began under the previous administration at the highest levels of our government, and we're still facing this problem. So to fast forward to your question, what Sidney Powell fought for and waged a war over was what she knew to be true, and frankly, from her own experiences working in the federal government and also in the area of appeals, because she's a real master at appeals more than I think fighting in the defense or lawsuits and stuff. She's really a master at that. And she knew, because she had studied it and she saw it. She saw how the Department of Justice is incentivized for prosecutions and not actually discovering the truth. So they're going to lie, cheat, steal, deceive the American public in order to get their little promotions in government. That's just how it works. It's how the government, and certainly the Justice Department, works. It's incentivized for the wrong reasons, and that includes elements within the U.S. intelligence community. So she fought for that information that she knew existed, especially with what already was out in the public. Because if you had a little bit of something, if you had one thread, keep pulling the thread, because there's an unraveling there of information and evidence that is going to be explosive. And all these people that go, well, we don't want to hurt the government. We don't want to upset things. We'll let these people die on the vine out there. These people like Mike Flynn die on the vine out there because we don't really want to hurt our institutions. Hell with that. The institutions have forgotten who they work for, Tom. And that's, again, I will keep plugging you guys, because you fight for we the people, and you don't fight for the institutions. And I think that I applaud your organization for doing that, because it is about our constitutional rights. My constitutional rights were severely, gravely violated. And for people that go, well, you lied, you lied, and you took this plea. Well, yeah. I mean, I will tell you, if you were in my shoes at that time, you'll know exactly how I felt.
Right.
You'll know exactly how I felt.
I have to comment on this. You didn't lie. I mean, the facts show you did not lie.
Right.
And so that's not your position. It's not your legal position. And pleading guilty and taking back the guilty plea is not unusual.
Right.
But of course, it's a different rule for people associated with President Trump.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.